further. Well, let's see what happens here as we go into game 2. Picks and bans. As I mentioned, I don't think Elevate's letting Flashpoint get Freya again.
Nope.
Maybe they'll take it for themselves this time around. Try and give Ape some pressure in mid.
Well, if the Elevate decide to do that, if they are going to be that first pick, which is going to be the case, wouldn't be surprised to see a Flashpoint strip and pluck that option away from them.
Certainly a lot of options. As Elevate didn't do a whole lot that game of their own sort of aggression. It was a lot of counter-engaging, and it worked out for a little bit when Flashpoint started to mess around a little bit too much in my mind. What are you going for here if you're Elevate?
If I'm Elevate, honestly, it's not even about the picks and bans. I think it's about more of a strategy in mind of where you have to focus out. Now, there was not too much pressure onto keegsmate, not too much pressure onto Crimson. It was their own buffs that was getting invaded. So maybe go for more lane pressure to start things off. Scylla has, improved in the ranks a little bit since some of the buffs, but still not the best pressure goddess that you want to deal with. DoctorL taking that early spill stopped any sort of pressure between that Scylla Erlang Shen. I think that's what gave Flashpoint that momentum to invade.
I think giving DoctorL a top pick right now is probably Elevate's best chance, and Pele certainly fits that bill in my estimation and fits that early aggressiveness that I was talking about that DoctorL seems to really like.
That's true. Pele is going to be so aggressive to start things off. We'll see how DoctorL likes to play that. I'm not expecting that to go into the soul lane for Nexamiss, as Artio and Rama, two great early game pressure gods, something that Splice really like to do in that duel lane.
Yeah, it's true. Something that got them their chance at DreamHack, and Flashpoint trying to do just the same as Ullr picked alongside this Pele. Early pressure seems to be the name of the game so far here for Elevate, and I think that's the right way to look at it. Like you said, I mean, they just lost pressure in every lane pretty early on.
That's true.
I think that I'd be looking to punish Keegs. If he's going to play as recklessly as he did in game 1, maybe we can get ahead in the duo side and play through that.
It's going to be hard, though, to really contest the Artio Rama, so I almost would rather see an Ullr in the mid lane and maybe go for a Jingwei yet again in that duo lane, so that way you can still kind of get pressure in the mid lane at the very least and work off of that.
Kuzenbo banned here by Flashpoint. Koiz played that Kuzenbo pretty well last game, and not as the traditional Kuzenbo style where you're dealing a lot of damage, you're harassing the backline. Koiz played it as a peel option and as a true support, basically, and honestly made it work.
The Watery Grave saving Keegsmate's life, saving Crimson's life on several occasions, and waiting for the Banish to fall down for the Sumo Slam follow-up. It was a great overall teamwork from Flashpoint with that pick, so no surprise that they are not going to take it here since they already have the Artio.
Now Thanatos, again, it looks like Delny's going to be piloting an assassin in that solo lane as Soul rounds out the draft for Elevate. That makes me think that Ullr might be in the duo lane, though you can put Soul over there. As Puch, the final selection for Crimson. A little bit more risk there, I think, than the Freya, but still plenty of reward. Make sure you get your vote in on who you think is going to win. Flashpoint has a pretty strong draft if they can get a lead, but if they fall behind, I think this draft really struggles.
A little risky strategy to go for double assassin. Something that Delnyy did last game. Didn't really give up any kills. He did try to invade that back camp that one time, which ultimately did cost his life. But at the end of the day, as long as he doesn't do that here on the Thanatos, he should be A-OK. Elevate's draft a little bit more safe, a little bit more standard, as we're going to see the Terra and the Cerberus combination. This double Guardian combo can really amplify the Soul's damage in the late game.
It's Delnyy on the Opwash in solo, and Crimson on the Thanatos in mid. This tells me that Flashpoint, again, just feels like they are way better than their opposition. But again, this is a game where a world's trip on the line. If Flashpoint ended up losing this set, then they would end up missing out on going to the placements. So it seems, yeah, I get it. Like they feel like they're way better, but you never know. You know what I mean? It would make me nervous.
I love what Crimson is doing there. Hit the Ullr, get the mini wave grouped up, use those basic attacks, use the silence, and using and abusing the dual lane. Elevate looking to be on the chase.
Keegs very, very low. His Aegis already on cooldown. But 8 doesn't come in and secure that kill. Keegsmate's going to get away because of it.
Even with the stun, I don't know if that was necessarily going to be a kill unless Vela was in position for the Stellar Burst. A lot of time wasted at the end of the day for Elevate that could have been used farming that duel lane, giving up that momentum to Flashpoint now. Interesting decision making.
So both teams end up losing a bit on the duo side, but no kills quite yet. Crimson going for that same sort of Boots 3 rush, but doesn't have teleport this time around. Nice stun there from Nexamiss.
And that's only level 1 paralyzing spit, mind you.
Yeah. But he should be leveling the 2 in this matchup, right? Because there's no way for Delnyy to interrupt it, and you can catch him in Ghastly Breath for a long time.
It's more guaranteed, but if you're looking for the just outright poke damage and you're confident of hitting the Paralyzing Spit more than 50% accuracy, you go for the Paralyzing Spit every time.
DoctorL low in the mid lane. Crimson on this Thanatos. It's going to bring a lot of pressure, and DoctorL walks right back within Wind Siphon range, but still up for the moment. But Crimson should have a Soul Reap, and there it is. Gets 1, and now Ape sticking around to get doubled off.
That's the way you get Thanatos mid ahead. Just get an early double kill 2 minutes in. Sure, why not?
You know what's a good idea is fighting Thanatos mid.
Oh, Delnyy just getting a solo kill.
Right, because, yeah, that's what you expect out of Opwash solo all the time. It just, you know, when you're fighting up against Thanatos in the mid lane, usually what's best is to get yourself really low and then not worry about going into axe stance or jumping away.
That's true.
Those usually aren't that good.
And staying low so you can allow the Thanatos that extra movement speed from the passive to catch up to you, because you need to give them an advantage to beat you.
Right. That's definitely the call. Now Crimson, because of the way that Elevate decided to play that one, has full boots and the beginning of what could be a Glad Shield, what could be a Berserker Shield, because all bets are off in this game as far as I'm concerned. Void Shield shifters. There's a shield is coming. That's all you need to know from Crimson.
That's what Flashpoint needs to do to win. Elevator's just, you know, giving them the false hope, and then they'll come back with the furious fire and rage.
Right. That's the game plan. DoctorL's got to blink away from Jumpahhh and Crimson, who was hunting and is able to hit a nice Death Scythe, but not enough to bring Crimson down. That must have been communication, or maybe DoctorL heard it, because I certainly didn't see that Thanatos coming.
I think AquaticApe definitely communicated that across the ways. DoctorL now going to have to back sooner rather than later, because keep in mind, Crimson sees him through that Eagle Eye vision off of the Thanatos passive and will communicate every which way where this Pele is heading.
Crimson gets poked out, but returns a little bit of his health as Nexamiss boxing it out with Delnyy on this right-hand side, and again, ends up getting soloed by the Opwash.
Jumps towards the Crypts and the 3 archers instead of his own tower, where there are no archers or zombies flying at you.
Right, but there's also better drinks on Delny's side of the map.
Oh,
that's why he went over there.
I thought you were going to go with, oh yeah, he wants to jump on those 3 archers because he wants to get the healing and then continue the one-on-one, but no, that's not the case.
No. He heard that there's a new restaurant opening up on the Chaos solo side.
Okay.
It's down in like the little cliff side that's on that solo side. It's down there. You know, right by the Barnes & Noble?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Right, that little open spot. Yeah, it's like right around the corner from where we are right now. A new spot opened up, so Nexamiss was trying to go there, but then Delnyy killed him.
What's the reviews like?
It looks pretty good. You know, it's a seafood spot, and it has a really good view down on the cliffside. You have to do some stair climbing.
Okay.
But it's got pretty good reviews. Yeah, you want to check it out later?
Yeah, sure. I would love to see all the spirits and all the moaning, ghastly ghouls, you know, as we're eating on the sky.
So you know, whenever you look on Google and it has like the busy hours, it's usually really dead around 10 minutes in the game, because the fire giant crashing in actually levels the entire restaurant. And they need to rebuild it every time. So that's why Nexamiss was really concerned about getting there as soon as possible, because it's really only open for a little bit every day. It's only open for another 4.5 minutes at this point.
Nexamiss trying to go back in to help DoctorL onto Delnyy, but Delnyy able to pick up his own corpses for a little bit. Off the mark with both abilities.
What is going on? DoctorL ends up falling, and you don't get a formal invitation to the seafood restaurant by playing like that.
Definitely not like that. They were just thinking about inviting over the enemies instead to get, you know, better just better customers, I guess. Because they can afford it, because they got all those kills, right?
They sure can.
They can afford to eat there.
Delnyy can afford just about anything right now. He's top of the net worth right now at 4,600 so far in this game. Over 1,000 gold up by himself over Nexamiss.
2 solo kills will do that for you. And surviving in a 1v2, turning that around.
And getting a kill and an assist in that spot. Delny's going for a little bit more defense. Could be an Oni's coming next. Jumpahhh aggressing onto AquaticApe and gets the kill. AquaticApe has not used the leap very often in this game. I have noticed that. so far. Jumpahhh has his win siphon, so he's A-okay.
Was about to win the 1v2 decisively if Hamster wasn't around that corner with the Earth and Fury, but could have also used the Pele passive to get some of that lifesteal. That's why we're seeing DoctorL at 50% health. Crimson very comfortable with his Gladiator shield. Probably going to extend it now to a Void shield if I were to guess.
Void or Shifters, either one would be pretty solid. Vela has not been having a great time in this lane. He hasn't died, but is down a level right now to Keegs as Koiz runs into 2, but he's a tanky Artio, so no real concern for him as Crimson takes up into the sky, hovering death, looking for Vela or Hamster. Why not both? I'll take both, thank you very much. Great shots coming from Keegs as well. And Crimson looking for his second. It's a double kill for the Thanatos. He gets kills in pairs every time. As this time, Delnyy looks a little bit less likely. It turns out when you land your ultimates, you get those kills.
Okay, I thought for a second Nexamiss was going to die to the minions because he was still absorbing some of those zombies, but yet again, showing us why Puch is very strong, being able to still almost find a kill in a 1v2, absorbing tower shots without real physical defense. Things are only going to get scarier for Elevate. I think that as soon as Delnyy fixes up that little overextension, he'll be A-okay and clean.
DoctorL walks into mid lane and takes quite a bit of damage. In fact, he takes nearly all of the damage. Typhoon gets it done. The pathing there leaving a little bit to be desired.
Hamster off the mark. Gonna get stunned out, forced to go into the Earth and Fury. Doesn't even get the heal off before 4 damage sources. Jumpahhh is gonna get stunned out. Storm caught us his way into safety, relying on Koiz for a little bit of healing.
Nice shot. Really good shot there from AquaticApe. Good axe as well, but there's people coming, and the up-down in this spot, not the answer. I'll be real. The up-down is rarely the answer.
That ain't it, Chief. Koiz in the mid lane now, still very low. Gets off a little bit of healing, but here comes Delnyy emptying the crypts.
Well, Nexamiss returns the favor with... wait, no, they're on the same team, so that's actually doubly bad. Keegs rotates in, nearly able to strip away the red, but is looking for damage onto Vela. He's in sniper range, but has that Disapparate charged. Delnyy... a little long
there we
on
go.
The fleeting breath, but now gets it done. Keegs will secure it with that shot, and now DoctorL next on the list.
Needs one more basic. Keegsmate gets himself a double kill. Vela was still sticking around behind that tier 2 tower without any real mana. Teleport comes through. Nexamiss trying to slow down Keegs. Needs the paralyzing spit, and he gets it.
Jumpahhh uses the beads, and AquaticApe certainly is sad right now. 1 in 4 on the mid lane Ullr. Nexamiss had just respawned moments ago, teleports in, and gets doubled off. Yet again, 2 and 5 for him. The mid and right side of the map for Elevate is struggling to say the least. They are a combined 3 and 13 in just 10 minutes.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when you give Crimson an early double kill and every single lane is able to make it happen one way or the other. Flashpoint, we're looking a little shaky to start it off at level 1 when they were battling against a Soul, but then since then, Elevate weren't really interested in their dual lane waves, so they gave up a lot of experience. As a result, the difference between Keegs and Vela is surprising to see a 3-level difference, because I would expect that to be more on the side of Delnyy.
This, as I said during the very beginning of this game, this draft is very much the we are better than you draft, and it certainly worked out for Flashpoint so far. Elevate has the better overall composition. I think that's fairly obvious.
It's definitely safer.
Sure, but when you're already down 5K at 10 minutes, it doesn't matter how much better your comp is.
Yeah, calling a composition better is a little too... not far-fetched. What's the right word that I'm looking for? Hold that thought, though, because a little bit of action onto Koiz. Going to get rooted in place. DoctorL needs to find this kill.
Typhoon is there. Nice job by DoctorL to immune it with Volcanic Lightning, but Crimson joins in, and Keegsmate is going to find himself a kill. Not a lot of damage coming from AquaticApe at this point, but Koiz does end up falling to IAmTheHamster's damage. Jumpahhh secures 1. Snipes are solid from Keegs, just as target practice right now onto AquaticApe. Now Keegs actually rolls in, but can't find the crippling shot and Ape able to leap away.
Vela has this supernova if he wants to commit here. AquaticApe is still around the corner. keegsmate looking for some shots. Axe off the mark. Needs to find 2 more basic attacks. Will have the Aegis against Nexamiss. And dashing and avoiding a lot of abilities. He wants to get a kill before he falls.
But he falls. Keegs' build is a little bit untraditional. Went for the boots rush straight, not even just warrior tab-eye, but the Talaria straight into Devo glove, straight into now a berserker shield. Vela nearly falls instantly to Crimson, but not quite enough damage quite yet for that Thanatos. I'm sure it's coming. And there should be more on the way after this Void Shield.
No hovering death quite available yet. Coming up in about 15 seconds or so. Around the corner is DoctorL poking his head and prodding, seeing if he can invade the red buff.
Red buff invade, unsuccessful. Crimson uses beads and hovering death. And I'm actually surprised that he lands.
Yeah, he doesn't go back in.
I mean, he could have gotten 4 Glad Shield procs.
True.
That's OP.
It's not too shabby. Delnyy making the rotation alongside Koiz. A little bit of a 2-on-3 favoring out Elevate, but the Earth and Fury being used, but for whatever reason, AquaticApe doesn't want any part of it.
No, he's out of there, and IAmTheHamster wishes he could follow suit. As DoctorL uses Volcanic Lightning to get away, and then turns around as if to say, you know what? I wanted the faster way back to base. Hamster crippled out, Delnyy able to find another one. Ape is still here. Figured he would have backed, but he did not. And Keegs is able to clean up some good shots.
Like IAmTheHamster says, hesitation leads to devastation, and AquaticApe jumping away from a 3-on-2 advantage fight allowed Flashpoint to counter-rotate. Good counter-rotation from Jumpahhh after securing his own speed, changing the tides of that battle.
Gold Fury goes down. It's the first one of the game for Flashpoint, even though we're already 13 minutes in. And they are up 7-8K right now. Vela late on the beads. And
wow.
Insta-killed. Jumpahhh, Susano from ahead is as oppressive as it gets out of the jungle. And being 6-1-7 and up 3 levels on your opposition, I would say, makes you ahead.
Oh yeah, especially up against a level 10 soul. That first strike out of the Storm Cut, it took about 20 to 25% of Vela's health pool. Couldn't really do much about that one. And it's only going to get scarier because he doesn't even have Hydra's Lament to augment that basic attack after these abilities.
Not yet, but he's got Morningstar 1 now. Could be going for it. Could also be Transcendence or Heartseeker. He's got options at this point. Any of them will work. I mean, Delny's playing Mystical Male Opwash because why not? Sure. May as well.
I agree with it.
Gives him defense and damage,
He's
right?
a walking tank, yeah. And if you're going to peel for yourself with, by emptying the crypts, you might as well get, like, those little pebbles off the ground, which is what Mystical Male does for you.
Exactly.
Gets you stronger and more angrier.
I mean, it looks pretty good. I wouldn't be mad about putting on that Mystical Male.
I would have that on 24/7, so that way when I'm walking.
Are you sure, Toli? It doesn't have a lot of chains on it or anything, you know?
It's all right.
And it's pretty gray. It's not like it's a gold or something like that. I figured that if you were wearing a mail of any sort, it would be more like mail of regrowth. It's a little bit flashy.
Or what about a Hydonemian?
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see you. That's the one for sure. Typhoon is able to kill DoctorL. Delnyy comes in and drops the crypts. That means Hamster has got to take the detour around the right side of this rock. AquaticApe has to beads. Good axe as well. That might be enough, though.
I don't know if AquaticApe wants to keep backpedaling while basic attacking, but I think he was dead to rights either way. 3 for nothing. Elevate can't make anything happen at Flashpoint. Interested in an early 15-minute Fire Giant.
Why wouldn't they be? Nexamiss is on the left. So is Vela. Flashpoint looking very, very likely to go to land now and have a chance to defend their title at DreamHack Atlanta this year.
Whether it's the first seed or second seed, I think Flashpoint don't mind that going through placements. They're going to have to show a little bit more improvement, I think, from how their online portion went. Dropping a game 2 Elevate in week number 3 as opposed to how this set went. Just goes to show that they have been improving, so I'm excited to see how they do at land.
Keegs looking much better in game 2 than he did in game 1 as well. Game 1 definitely struggled. Game 2 doing much, much better. 6-2-3 for the Ram this time around. Flashpoint up already 11,000 plus Fire Giant. Jumpahhh trying to take the 2v1. Ape able to leap away, but Crimson is on the way. Lands on a DoctorL because Jumpahhh will try and take care of Ape all by himself. Does just that. Vela brought in 400 damage on that hi-rez proc. But Vela's Aegis will save him for the moment.
Absolutely deleted. Crimson looking for the Death Scythe, not able to find that one onto Vela. But the tier 2 tower could be in a little bit of trouble. Delnyy here, rocking his Mystical Mail, tanking up the tower, healing up while he's doing so. His teammates getting the tier 2 tower in the dual lane as a result. And this is what Delny's going to be able to succeed in, is healing himself back up without any real anti-healing options from Elevate outside of the Cerberus passive.
Oh, watch out though. 6 stacks on that Soul Eater for DoctorL. It's on the way. Only 94 more to go before you can get some ability lifesteal in that build. Blink forward by Nexamiss. Finds 2 with the pickup. Keegs doesn't have the relics, and Keegs getting low. In fact, he'll fall to Nexamiss's damage. Now it costs Vela and Nexamiss their lives, but making the enemy team lose their ADC is a good start. Great damage and control coming from Delnyy. 7 in a row now for Jumpahhh. You can make that 8. Crimson will find his 5th in a row. And it might be a pre-19-minute game, though. They don't have their Hunter here.
They don't have their Hunter, I agree. So this could be a little risky to go for the Titan. Vela's coming up in 5 seconds.
I don't think they can end.
Without Supernova. A little bit of a damage check from Delnyy while the rest of his team calling for the actual objective, getting some towers in the solo side preferably, or some Phoenixes.
A tier 2 tower on the right means that Titan is even tankier. I don't think Flashpoint could have ended from that spot as much as they would have liked to. But they do get the far side Phoenix down. Definitely a good beginning towards the end, as they're already up 17,000 gold. They've gotten nearly 1,000 gold a minute.
That's insane, because that falls off pretty hard when teams are just able to confirm other objectives, because you can't defend all of your objectives, so you might go for some split pushing, which is what we saw about 2 to 3 minutes ago, where where Elevate grouped up in the Soul Lane, got a tier 1 tower, but they had no time to continue for the tier 2. They needed to try to defend their Phoenix, which was a pretty good defense, honestly. At the end of the day, that's the most you can ask for, as Nexamiss going in, getting a nice Stygian Torment, but they're just too far behind to follow up, because this level 18 Susano is out-leveling Elevate's own solo laner.
I mean, it was a 21,000 experience difference. In a game where experience is not just relevant, but still the most important thing in the game, I think, at this point, even more so than gold. I don't think I've ever seen one that big this early on, or it's near the top, that's for sure. Jumpahhh does use the beads, but does get the kill. 12-1 now for the Susano, as Keegs rolls in on this left-hand side looking for Vela. Has the snipes. Vela's Aegis still down, so one shot should do it, and Keegs will get the second one to guarantee it.
Hovering death by Crimson, thinking about landing on DoctorL, will do so, as SadAquaticApe actually takes out Delnyy somehow, some way. Going forward even further now to the solo lane side.
Solo lane is still being pushed up, as there's some extra action on the left and mid. Flashpoint spread out. Jumpahhh is over on the right-hand side, and
little dance party.
Just kind of chilling with Hamster.
Oh, not chilling anymore, the soul lane.
Koiz tanking up that mid Phoenix, but not a lot of damage onto the Phoenix quite yet. Blink forward. Scythe misses, but Ape still needs the beads in order to leap away after the silence. It'd be nice if Jumpahhh could join the squad here.
I mean, honestly, if you eliminate the Terra, now you don't have to worry about the Earth and Fury, although he did probably use it not so long ago. DoctorL caught between a rock and a hard place. Crimson looking for the shot in the backside. Matt Koiz making his appearance. Fell. Crimson taking a lot of damage. And it's going to be a surrender vote.
Can't say I'm caught off guard by that. Flashpoint dominant in that second game. Congratulations to them. They are coming to land now as the second seed out of North America, and they make it look easy up against Elevate.
Unfortunate for Armada that found that victory offline 2-0 against Astral Authority, giving Astral their very first defeat in the fall online portion. But hey, the better team deserves to make it in place.
Too little too late from Armada. It goes to Flashpoint in second place. And who was the MVP from that game? Jumpahhh should be the MVP, right? I mean, Delnyy as well.
Again.
Yeah, but I mean, all three of those dudes, Keegs and Matt Koiz, just had fun in the duo lane, whatever. I mean, they could have been just AFK in lane the entire game, and Flashpoint would have won it.
I think that Thanatos was just a great pickup to be able to snowball. If they didn't get off that early double kill, things would have been really risky for Flashpoint. But when you're that confident and you're just that far ahead in the game, it just shows what kind of improvements they were able to do from the earlier portion of the split now to wrap things up in week 6.
Well, as we're waiting for the MVP results to come in, let's take a look at those standings so you can see where all these teams ended up at the end of the fall split. Flashpoint at 4-2. Astral Authority, as you mentioned, take their first loss in week 6. They fall to Armada, but still end up clinching that top overall spot. Over in Europe, it'll be Noxious traveling to America to go up against Flashpoint and the representatives from the PlayStation 4 League, which we will be finding out very, very shortly. Rival, obviously, punching their ticket guaranteed. But if you're unfamiliar with the format, it's the second place team in each region that comes to the placement rounds, because the top team in each region on Xbox automatically goes to DreamHack, and then the top team from each region in PlayStation 4 will also come to that placement round. So we'll get to see some Xbox versus PS4 action.
Yeah, that should be exciting to see the crossbreed of the console wars between PlayStation and Xbox, because this is going to be our very first time seeing that kind of competition.
Jumpahhh is your Game 2 MVP, and certainly well-deserved. 12 kills by my last count. Could have even been more by the end of the game. Nearly 22,000 damage in just 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, you could tell he really didn't want to use that Typhoon, trying to min-max it, but this time around, no hesitation, using that Typhoon to kind of penetrate inside the Phoenix range, or just being patient is the name of the game with the junglers, where they lost a kill or they lost the life of keegsmate early in that engagement, but hey, they got a full-on deicide after the fact.
Jumpahhh literally was just able to walk around the jungle and just find some targets, basically, because he was that far ahead at that point in the game. Congratulations again to Flashpoint. They are your second place team. But as I mentioned, we still have to figure out who those PlayStation 4 teams are at the top of the region. We've had some pretty competitive games so far on the PlayStation 4 side, so make sure you stick around because we do have those PlayStation 4 games coming up very shortly. We'll be right back as we get ready for the Switch and consoles.